Okay, calling to order at 7:05 p.m. Any comments from the peanut gallery? David, that's you.
I'd love to be the peanut gallery. I hope that $2 bleacher seats continue since I was a Cubs fan. So I'm good.
You're a great,
They-
Dave. Great one. Um, okay, minutes from November 18th.
Wait, Patty, I'm sorry, I don't have the agenda in front of me, but I don't think there's anything on there regarding the housing element in Ford Field, and I just wanted to make an announcement in case people haven't heard.
There is a,
Um,
wait,
Ford Field and open spaces there.
status of
oh, I
proposed.
thought that was related to this concessions and bathrooms. All right, I'll wait.
Okay, or we can take it now. I'm not,
Well, and everybody might already know, but last Wednesday was the town council meeting. And it was a unanimous vote to submit the housing element amendment, which takes out Ford Field and development there, and it puts the development in the three sites at the Skyline property. That's a piece of the Fogarty parcel, and Village Square and Christchurch. So that is officially been voted on and is supposed to be submitted very quickly. So I just wanted everyone to know.
Can I ask if that means that they're going to get rid of Village Square in Christchurch?
No, you mean take down the buildings?
Yeah.
No. So the plan at Christchurch is they have a 3-acre parcel or maybe a little bit more, and they want to build some housing on the uh, backside of the parking lot
Oh,
for low-income families. They really want to serve families. And then Village Square, the owner developer wants to keep the commercial business, but put housing in well, there's no designs, so I don't want to get ahead of myself, but the conversations have been discussed about putting housing in the back. So yes, where the hair salon is, but not where the
like where
restaurant is and
Parks,
the vet
Parkside
and
Grill
all
and
of
all that.
that.
I would
Correct.
miss that. Oh
That
my God.
and then on the other side of the parking lot. I mean, but there's no actual designs.
Okay. Good. That sounds good. So Ford Field is
Okay.
off. So the oak trees live.
Well, the amendment's being submitted to HCD. So we'll see what happens.
They'll say, right? They have the final say if that's okay.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question they'll say fine. The question is then whether we can actually figure out how to do all that. I mean, the Village Square space will be small and controversial, so we'll see how it works out.
yeah, I think it's great. Congratulations, Karen,
Really?
to the ad hoc committee, everybody that did tremendous work on that. I think it's awesome. I think it just pushes the rock down the hill or whatever the metaphor is. We've got another problem in 8 years, but somebody else can solve that. Just kidding. We all need to solve that. Okay, November 18th minutes approval.
I motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Um, New committee applications. I have personally had a chance to talk to Wanda and to Eric. Minnie and Richard and I have missed each other on emails and voicemails, but I'm committed to talk to them. And I've talked to a couple of you as well about our new applications. First of all, I am excited that people want to join our committee, and I'm thrilled to be able to welcome new resources, new ideas, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, I know we've also talked about our willingness or desire to try to create more diversity on the committee, and in particular get people who have children in the home, who are actively using some of the resources and facilities that we personally don't use, and thus giving us, better insight and a better point of view, stronger voice to those people. That is none of the four that have applied. They are all older, retired, no children in home.
And all Alpine Hills members, or most of them.
I
Which is
don't
where they
know about
play.
Eric, but the
Eric, I
others
don't know
are.
either.
Yes. Eric, I don't think so. You didn't mention that. But he's in retirement, plays a lot of golf, doesn't play
Yeah.
pickleball. Didn't mention
Well,
him.
we need younger people. We need younger people. People who play softball,
know
that
we
have
do.
little league, that
I do. So,
soccer.
I guess the question is, how would this committee recommend kind of moving forward? Do we take on these people and just say, let's go for it and continue to try and get new people? Do we say thank you, but I don't really know what the protocol is here. I reached out to Darcy and asked her for her counsel on this, and I know she's busy with far bigger things than this, and she hasn't responded, so I'm not dissing her, but I just wanted kind of her point of view on maybe, Karen, I see your hand. I was just finishing my thought. Just maybe a different point of view on what she has done in other areas when this, potentially has been a question mark. So, Karen, with that being said, have a comment?
Well, I have a question first. First of all, I do agree that it would be great to get some people representing young families, but actually young kids and teens, because
Mhm.
we're very underrepresented there. But my question, Patty, in the folks that you spoke with, when you talk to them, we've also talked about that we really need volunteers that are willing to take action and be there at the events and take charge. And when you talked to Wanda and Eric, did they have any things that they said they really wanted to work on, or did they have any new ideas? Was there anything like that that came up? Because I have an idea but I don't think they would be interested in it. So I just wanted to know what they're looking for when they do this.
Well, that's a great question. To be honest, no, they didn't. Neither one of them were even vaguely familiar with what we did as a committee. Never been to the town picnic, didn't even know. One of them didn't even know we had a town picnic. Did not play pickleball. Actually, one preferred tennis to pickleball because they thought it was social. So the answer is no. They were not familiar with what we did. They did not have any strong views about new things that they wanted to pursue. They were somewhat reserved when I said we wanted people who would commit to volunteering. And quite frankly, that's the concern I had, which is, You know, if you're not going to be there and you're not that familiar with what we're doing, then are we just taking on kind of a warm body? And I don't want to call them warm bodies. Please, dear God, if you're listening, you know, that's not my intention. And that was a very poor choice of words. But, you know, no, they weren't. I mean, no.
Just to make one comment related to your comment about Darcy, I think it is totally within your purview to not take action, if you will, and wait to get somebody that you want. There's nothing in any law or whatever that says you need to take somebody on. It was not going to add to the committee. So based on what you just said, it seems like, I don't know, keep fishing, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if it were up to me, I would kind of follow on what David said. I would wait. I would like to interview Minnie and Richard. I would like to get some counsel from Darcy. And I would really like to think about, as a committee, how do we fish, David's words, for people that, you know, think might meet what we're trying to solve for a little better.
Yes, we need a plan for finding people with kids and teenagers. We do. We need a solid plan for doing that. Through pickleball, I think I can find some, but that would be a really good avenue.
I'm in agreement with that. And even when you speak with, I think getting Darcy's input is great. And
Yeah.
when you speak with Minnie and Richard, I would ask them what their ideas are for family, family programs as well. And what the commitment would be to, as we know, the picnic in Zatz Tots is huge, right? That's our biggest event. And, where they see themselves on the committee and what would they be doing.
All right, so I think we're going to table that one.
Okay.
Hey, can I just ask, because I missed the names. Did you say Minnie and so the
Richard
Sarwalls?
Sarwall.
Is that who you're talking about? Or is it some, so would they
Yes.
both be, or would it be one of them?
Both.
Couple joining.
John,
Interesting.
you're really not clear.
Okay, just so, but I was just asking if it was both Minnie and whatever the couple.
Minnie and
I'm
Richard,
surprised they
yes.
want to join.
Both
And
of them.
Richard, right? So they want to join together.
Yes.
The only other thing I can think of is to press them harder, rather than just saying no or wait, is just to press them harder on kind of having them self-select. I'll say, the standpoint of saying, well, this is what we would want you to do. I'm cautious about telling people that we don't want them on the committee, or we want to be very inviting. We want to get people to volunteer, and so if they're volunteering for something, I think that it's more kind of a question, for me anyway, of them understanding the expectations associated with that. And if it's not clear to them right now, we can try to make it clearer to them by saying, this is what we would want you to do. Are you sure you want to do this? So it's not just attending meetings. It is, here are a few things that we putting you on, subcommittees, whatever. Do you want to run Zatz Tots or something?
You got to work.
Can you guys put together a description of what it is you do, so people can understand that before they say, I want to volunteer?
I guess we could.
I just think if, Zatz Tots, the trivia contest, I mean, some of those things, so people understand kind of what's involved with being on the committee. And I think with a description, a one-page description, you could have most of it.
No, I agree with that, Bob. But
Yeah.
I even asked them if they read our minutes. I mean, our minutes talk about all that. Nobody had read our minutes. So if they don't, I don't know. I didn't see a lot of proactive type of stuff there, but okay. All right.
If I add one more thing, which is really two more things. Uh, First of all, I don't know that you need to tell people no. That's a trick from venture capital world. Just sort of say, which is true, we're talking to other people, and that way they don't get miffed maybe or whatever. The other thing is I don't know that people have to have teenagers or kids. Like if you're a scoutmaster, my scoutmaster as a kid didn't have other kids. So, there's lots of, but they have to be involved in that age group and want to know what those people are doing. So that's
Yeah.
maybe a nit, but worth passing along.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, thanks everybody for the input. Appreciate it. Okay, any other new business? Okay, let's go to all business. Next game night. What are we thinking?
Did we do one in the spring last year, Karen?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did one, I believe it was in May.
Yeah, we did.
Um,
That was the big movie night with Michael Chang, wasn't it?
Oh,
music.
yeah.
That was the music one,
music. Yeah, the
music
music
trivia. So we did that in May, so we can certainly do, another trivia night. I would keep it simple. The other idea I wanted to throw out there is, and this comes in when we were talking to Steve, I think, about Parks and Rec and joining, and he mentioned that Brookside does an Easter egg hunt, and I started to think that it'd be really fun to have. I'm not going to call it an Easter egg hunt, but some sort of town-wide, like,
Scavenger hunt?
no, it'd be like probably an Easter egg hunt. No Easter, but egg hunt, right? I mean, we have to, and it could have other games like um, musical chairs or I'm sorry, I'm a little, if you guys didn't know, I had a knee replacement on Friday, so I'm a little spacey right now. Um, but
Goodness.
things like a water balloon toss, where, like old-fashioned games for the family kind of thing. So like a game day, and one of the things might be an egg hunt. But I know, I think that might be that we have too much going on as well, because obviously we'll have the picnic, and I'm sure we'll decide on a date soon on that. But I wanted to throw that out as an idea because I was trying to think of things that would, attract those families with the kids and stuff like that. So I just wanted to share the idea. I haven't fully formed it out, but um, anyway.
So we want to do something in May. Is that the plan? Do we have a feeling for that?
Well, I mean, if it's a non-Easter event around Easter, when is
When's
Easter
Easter?
this year?
I'm not religious. Let's see.
Or I'm not.
I think it's like the 20, well, hang on.
When is it?
I looked all this up, but I can't remember anything right now. I'm going to blame it on the meds.
Karen, did it go well? Did it go well?
Well, the doctor said it went well. I mean, the jury's still out. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
it'll-
doing
it'll-
okay. Thank
It'll
you.
take a while.
But there's definitely pain.
Oh, Easter's on the 5th of April.
Okay, well, that's way too early. So
Yeah.
it would have to be nicer weather. That's why and again, I don't think we want to, if you will, we don't want to focus on the word Easter.
No,
It's
I
really
agree.
like family
I
fun
agree.
day kind of
I
thing.
agree. Yeah.
You could do something on Earth Day
May Day.
or May Day.
May Day. Yeah, May Day.
May
I
Day.
mean, Woodside has their big May Day parade and stuff. But anyway, it's an idea I'm throwing out there. It may be too late. But I did want to share it. So
Thank you.
I don't know what people think.
I like that. Of course, May Day is a is a not a
It's a-
religious holiday. It's a
It's labor, isn't it? Wasn't it originally a labor?
no. May Day is a
What was
what do you
May Day?
call it? It's a non-religious. It's a like a
Pagan,
devil
pagan,
worship type of thing.
pagan, pagan
Pagan.
holiday.
What?
That's the word I was looking for. Pagan.
Well, we could have little devils.
Nothing is safe anymore.
Well, we could do Cinco de Mayo, and that would be pretty
Oh, Cinco de
extreme.
Mayo's fun.
Well, yeah, then we'd have ice showing up. So
Oh, God. Oh,
I say
boy.
nothing is safe anymore. Well, I think Karen, that's a great idea. I think
Okay,
it
I just
obviously
want to clarify
needs
that
fleshing
May
out
Day,
a little more.
according to AI, May Day has dual origins. Ancient European spring festivals celebrating fertility, summer, and then the other one is Modern International Workers' Day.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure where the devil worshiping came from.
I
That
meant
doesn't
pagan.
look like it's a
I meant pagan.
okay. All right. Anyway,
Also, just so all know that Cinco de Mayo is also a time that's a big alpine event, Alpine Hills.
What event? I belong. I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's a big activity on Cinco de Mayo at Alpine. At
yeah,
there's-
that's on the Friday. I
right.
don't know if it's going to be May 1st or May 8th.
I'm just
May
trying to make
5th.
sure you guys know. That's all.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
not on
I
Cinco
was
de
thinking,
Mayo.
Yeah,
well,
the Alpine
think
event won't affect
but-
anything you're doing. I
No.
mean, it's a big event, but it's not going to interfere with a town event.
Well, I'd love to
And-
flesh this out a little more. Karen, you want to maybe meet between now and the next meeting and just throw out a couple ideas or see
yeah, and I think we need to decide if we want to do a Saturday or Sunday. The Alpine event, I believe, is a Friday evening, and there might be some pickleball and tennis sometime that weekend. But as Dave said, that wouldn't affect it. Well, maybe it would affect some families
No,
with young
it
kids.
wouldn't. I'm the one who started it, and it's a huge event in the evening, but it's not the sort of thing that's going to interfere with something you're doing unless you want to throw a big dinner night or something.
No, this would be, I was thinking something like a couple hours on a Saturday or a Sunday from 10 to noon,
Yeah,
gathering for games and stuff like that.
That's absolutely totally different.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
well,
Patty,
let's-
how about you and I will chat and see if we can come up with something, but I think I took the conversation away from if we want to do an actual game night, like another trivia night.
Yeah,
So-
okay. Karen and I'll meet offline and we'll kind of flush out maybe a afternoon fun event. See what that might look like. Okay, back to game night. So thoughts about another game night. I still like the idea of a casino night, but of course that potentially could cost money,
Mm.
which the town doesn't have, unless we go like, self-funding, which we talked about doing, all of us doing dealing and things like that.
I think that would be fine. I think people would like it a lot.
I mean, I just wonder if we've kind of not getting tired of trivia, but if we're just thinking about something different to switch it up.
Well, if we did a casino night, what would we want? We would want poker tables,
Probably blackjack
blackjack.
and poker. Well, I mean, it'd be great to have like a roulette, but that would cost money. You'd have to
Or those cost
rent
money.
it. I mean, maybe the other thing we could do is a couple of us could look at what it would cost to throw a casino night. What do other people think about casino? I just threw that out there.
I think that Cindy did a lot of research, like a year ago, didn't you,
I
on
think
renting
so.
tables and looking at dealers?
I
You
think
had
I
a
did.
lot
I
of that
could look all that up
information.
and see what I found. I don't
Yeah, but
remember now.
I do think that until the town is a little more stable financially, we need to be very careful. So,
And we
That's-
have to figure out how many people would come and how much we could charge that would be reasonable.
yeah,
I mean, if it's a casino night, aren't they betting? Or
Yeah,
not?
You just
Yeah.
do chips. that are-
Yeah, you do chips. They buy chips? Do they buy chips?
Well, they could buy chips. Yeah.
Mm.
or with the entry fee, they get so many chips. And if they buy more, it goes towards town coffers.
So
It-
yeah, let me look and see what I
you
can find out
know,
from what I did last time, and then I'll relook at that. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, I think question one, if I was running one of these, is the action at the tables related to cash, or is it all just fun and games? So if people can buy chips and do this and that, and we could actually make money off of them buying chips, that's one thing and has its own complications. Or is it all just funny money and people pay $20 to play or get some prizes based on non-cash chips? So I think the structure affects a little bit of the economics.
Yeah, I was thinking more latter than the former.
That it's more fun and you just get prizes.
I don't even think.
Yeah,
Well, and it needs to
maybe
be something,
maybe you pay money to get the chips, but then they aren't cash. They're just a vote kind of towards the prizes, or the people with the most chips
Yeah,
get
yeah,
a
yeah.
prize.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's
yeah,
what I was-
I think we need to figure out how we can do this without requiring a lot of volunteers or money, right? I mean, I think our hands are somewhat tied, and so we just have to figure out what we could do.
Okay. All right. Well, Cindy, do you have the strength and bandwidth to do that?
If I can remember to. I have a little bit of a chemo brain.
This is like all
I
of
will
my
research it.
all
I
of my
can
committee
research it.
members are either on drugs or they're like painkillers or they're chemo. My
Yeah, there we
God,
go. I will. I
please
can research
share.
that. I
Can
can.
you share?
I wrote it. I wrote it. It's all I have to do is read it to know to do it.
Okay, I'll remind.
You know, another game that is amazingly popular in Vegas, for example, is Keno.
Oh, it is.
Uh,
Yeah.
and you can play that with
No.
like 100 people in the audience and one person doing the work of the deck or the
That's true.
card or whatever. And
That's true.
I had
Keno
never
is
thought
big.
about it, but that would be way easier than having to deal like 10 poker tables. So that's just
Just
a
have a
random
keynote
thought.
night. A keynote
Yeah,
night.
yeah,
Why not?
maybe. Um, it just seems super simple. I mean, I mostly played it because they gave us free Heinekens every 20 minutes, but it's apparently pretty popular.
Well, the other thing that I've been thinking, and I don't know if we could meld this all together, is if we could have a fundraiser and it goes towards the Ford Field restrooms. So, you know, I I don't know, just throwing it out there as something to look at.
Yeah, and there's a ton of potential really bad taglines like "Do you give a shit?" You know. So I think it'll be super popular.
David, we're not going to put you in charge of marketing.
No.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Or maybe we will. Hey, who knows? We may get desperate. Okay. All right. So, some great ideas, but nothing solid. We'll look at it next month. Okay, let's move on to, and I see Robert just joined us.
Hi, Patty. Sorry, for some reason my calendar had it as 7:30, not 7. My apologies.
Oh,
No,
that was the old
you're
time.
actually fine. It's great timing. We got everything out of the way, and we're just now getting ready to start the topics that that are right in your alley. So, town court, outstanding topics. So,
Okay. The
Robert,
court usage policy. Okay, on the status of the new court usage guidelines. Okay, we talked
wait,
about
wait, wait,
this.
wait, wait,
Wait, where are they?
wait,
Oh,
wait.
we're at resurfacing?
No, we're talking about resurfacing first.
Okay,
Okay, let's get an update on resurfacing from Robert. Take it away.
Hi, Patty. Hi, all. So we received several quotes back. Saviano Company was the winning bid at $35,000, which
great.
is a little bit higher than we anticipated before. But great bid. We have been in discussion with them. Their time frame is looking to be May due to the weather and the temperature being warm enough then for the courts to cure and dry effectively. So I'm looking for Saviano Company to provide me some dates and times in May to bring to the Parks and Rec Committee, you guys, to then tell me what works best. But they're going to be providing me a range of dates in May for then you guys to review.
Great. So all we have to do is raise about 5,000?
The funding question is the question for the town manager and for Tony over at finance. I believe we're bringing the difference in pricing to the town council, and they're going to figure out how to do that and everything. I know there was some question over whether the Park and Lieu fund is used for more of the resurfacing, or if some of it's used for Ford Field restrooms, or how that goes. I would say it's a discussion for yourselves and the town manager and all that. So that's still kind of in discussion.
Okay, so you'll let us know if we need to raise money.
Correct. Yes, I believe there's going to be some amount that will need to be raised. I don't know what amount, but
And as soon as
Yeah.
we know that, we'll raise it probably in a day.
yeah, it's just a question of whether we raise it here for Ford Fields. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Karen, you had a question?
Yeah, hi, Robert, you mentioned you got several bids. I'm just curious as to who else responded and what the range of bids were.
Yes, we got 2 bids, and we went through an official bid process. We got 2 bids. I can pull up the other one. I don't have it immediately in front of me, but Saviano Company came in at 35. We went ahead and published it to the people that we originally did. Surprisingly, we only got a second bid, and the second bid came in at, and Saviano Company, by the way, before we went to official bid, was looking to be the most reasonably priced as well. So that's good. The official second bid we got was, I believe, $195,000.
Oh,
What?
And that was for a crack system that involved a floating underlayment, basically a floating carbon fiber underlayment that would essentially separate out the court surface from the court foundation. So it was a significantly different scope. Those are the 2 bids we got.
And
So-
what was that company?
I would have to look it up here again. Give me a second. I can probably pull it up and let you know here. One
They
second.
didn't look at the RFP. They just said, you know,
Portola Valley courts. Woo.
wow.
Well, they were
ju-
probably looking at the cracks and
Ju-
anyway,
ju-
and coming up with a longer term solution to not cracking again or something.
Just so you know, the underlayment with the fabric underneath, that's what they have on the courts 1 through 4 at Alpine. They work great, but I don't think you have so many cracks that you need to worry about it. At least that's my opinion.
That was our impression as well. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, we've got minor cracking. It doesn't seem to be as much seismic movement, surprisingly, despite it being on the fault.
Yeah, the only thing the only one is Court 3 has some of the more dramatic attention needed. it has a big depression and it has some big cracks in the back. But Saviano is very good at this. I'm not worried about that they're not going to do a good job.
Yeah,
Yes.
When you say court 3, you're talking about where the basketball hoops are?
Yes, that's court 3.
Okay. Okay.
We got it from, so the
Did-
second quote was from Vintage Contractors.
Okay.
Vintage?
Thank you.
Vintage Contractors, correct. And the total number, there was option 1. They gave us 2 options. Option 1 came out at 94,760, and then option 2 came out at 198,460.
Just shocking.
So the basic idea, basic one, option 1 at 94,760 was, without a slip sheet underlayment, which was basic crack repair involving localized carbon fiber, and the slip sheet option was option 2 at 198,000.
And Saviano, that was the quote with the colors that we provided.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Did they mention anything about? Let's assume we want to change up the colors a little bit. Did they mention anything about this is just a generic, whatever colors you choose, or was there any kind of indication that change in colors or lining or striping would cause a change in the pricing?
We didn't ask those questions considering it was an official bid. We wanted to go through a very exact process of publishing the same bid. My impression is that Saviano Company has been fairly workable throughout this process. I would not anticipate it to be a huge issue, Patty. They seem to be fairly workable. My impression was that the extra $5K differential from their original verbal quote was due to crack repair.
Okay.
And so, Robert, I was going to ask that question. What are they saying they'll do for the crack repair? Is it just filling in the cracks and smoothing, or is there something more that's done?
So my understanding, I haven't talked to the guys out there in the field yet, but my understanding is that they do a fill, they do a basic grind in the area, they do a localized, basically, if you've ever seen what looks like what patches drywall, but in this case, it's a more serious carbon fiber kind of taping on top of it that extends to both sides of the crack, and then the entire resurfacing goes over that and the normal court. So it's kind of like how you patch cracks in drywall on any wall in a house.
Okay.
Robert, there are 2 different issues on court 3, and I'm focused on court 3 for a particular reason, but let's just stay there for a minute. On court 3, you have a depression that is sizable next to the tennis post, and it keeps water there when it rains. It's a fairly sizable puddle. Then in the back of court 3 on the north side, there are raised cracks. And so there'd have to be some shaving down of the court in order to flatten it. So they understand that? They understand both those issues?
We published what was basically given to us for publishing. Patty, do you remember, were those documented?
I don't believe the depression was documented. There was certainly a picture that was provided to them of that area.
I gave them a picture.
I don't know if they came out and walked the courts or they just relied on our pictures.
I can talk to them about that, and we can have that discussion with them when they come out for their pre-construction walk.
And
yeah, it would be really, really great that they actually see the courts. I would hope that they saw them before they bid on it. But
Robert, if you get them to come out, will you let me know when, and I will try to be there as well?
I can try that. The best thing would be, if you want to be part of this process, to send me an email. Again, this is starting in May. We're still very early on in the process. We've still not finalized all funding sources.
I'm not worried about May. I'm worried about that they understand what they have to do.
Yes, I agree. we have to be a little bit careful because this was an official bid that went out.
I
The
understand.
official bid package. I agree with you. So
Well, you're
I
the
agree. Just please
you're-
be sensitive to that. The fact this is an official bid, and we have to kind of be careful as a government.
I understand. You're the government. I'm not. I'm just asking that I'm there when you have the mount.
Okay, time out. Bob, let's talk about that offline. I mean, you're not really an official member of the committee. I love your input. I think you would be fantastic out there. I want to make sure that the committee feels comfortable with that as a representative, so to speak. So please don't take that as a negative. I think we need to work through the process. But I agree with your points. They're valid. So let's talk about how to work through that. Okay? Make sure we work with Robert on that.
Yeah, just a note on the courts before people, not that we should spend the money, but like Vintage, I think if you actually wanted to build a real competition court that would stay playable for a decade at competition levels, you'd spend that money. Not that we should, but we've had Saviano, who I think are really good, maintain our courts at Alpine for at least the 3 decades I've been involved, and they don't last forever. I mean, their stuff happens, water happens, leaks happen, so you kind of get what you pay for. And I think this is a great strategy, but I don't want anybody to think, oh, if in 10 years it has a crack, we did it wrong. I mean, things happen. That's my only
I mean,
point.
David, these courts are in the wrong place to begin with. They're built on top of a creek bed. So,
Yep.
you know, they're not
They
going
are.
to be stable. I don't think anybody believes that. So yeah, I agree. I think whatever. Okay. All right. Okay. So, thank you, Robert. We have a quote. We have a time frame. We do have a request from both the committee and the public that we get some more involvement with Sabiano, and they come out and really take a look at the courts and make sure that, you know, the solution they provide is going to fix the problems that we have, particularly given that the proposal that you're going to hear in the next few minutes is probably to throw a little curveball into the situation. I think for the right reasons and for good, but we kind of need to take that into account. So, with that being said, is there any more comment about the resurfacing? Okay.
No,
All right. So then let's move along to the next agenda item, which is the court usage. Oh, okay. Sorry. The court usage guidelines that were presented at the last meeting have been submitted to the town, and they're with Corey right now, and she has indicated that she is reviewing them, but is not ready to approve or make a proposal on them, which I think is kind of good because we're going to throw a curveball on those as well when we talk about Roman numeral number 3, which is a proposal that's come up to realign the courts based upon a new proposal that's come up. So if I can, I'm going to kind of do a frog leap over Roman numeral 2 and go to straight to Roman numeral 3, if
Yeah.
that's all right with the committee.
It is.
Okay,
Okay.
so I think I'm gonna then let Bob Adams make his pitch for, is that what's gonna happen here?
Bob, you and I are both in total agreement, so you can.
Yeah,
You
I
wrote
don't, I wrote a two-pager that I sent to you guys last meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, and
right
it
after
is
the last
attached.
meeting, and I have nothing to add to that. I think all it's fairly straightforward. Also, the comment about Saviano, I understand spending money, and I understand we're not going to do a lot more spending money on that. That's okay. I just want to make sure that they see the issues. That's all.
I agree, Bob, and I'm
So
not.
now, so let's go back to this proposal. So I think virtually everything that I'm interested in is in this proposal. The biggest thing about it is I think it increases the safety. You don't have the problem on court 1 back in the south corner of court 1, the southwest corner of court 1.
Okay, Bob, I'm sorry,
So
Bob.
you know all the issues and they're all in front of you there.
Okay, Bob. I attached your proposal to the agenda for the meeting. So, do you want to go over at a high level? I've got your matrix set up here. Do you want to go over to high level, or Cindy, one of you, what the new proposal is?
Essentially, what we're saying is you have decided that court 2 is not going to be the pickleball kind of center court. And so Karen in our last meeting made the comment that, well, what about court 3? And so some of us were looking at that and said, gosh, court 3 has lots of advantages that mean that tennis could be on court 1 and 2, that pickleball can be on 3, and that 2 would be kind of a conversion court that would be used for both tennis and pickleball. That basketball posts, all you would have to do is put in new posts because you can move the frames from their current posts down to court 1. And whether you put in 2 nets or 4 nets, so it's either 2 posts or 4 posts, and moving the frames, obviously that would have to be done. But I don't see that there's any real disadvantage to basketball, and there's a big advantage to pickleball in both safety and kind of making it a contained court with things on the side where I can put the pickleball bags outside the court instead of on the court, and people can sit at the benches, which are right next to the courts. It's just much more conducive to having it be the priority pickleball court. And that's really what this whole thing is about. It's also much safer. I have been out there and cleaned leaves off of court 1. It's not a huge issue. Yes, they do build up, but we're pretty good about getting leaves off even when we're on the other courts. So I just think it's better in a lot of ways. It's also the visibility is much easier on court 3 than it is on court 1 and 2 because of the field behind. And the field behind reflects light, so it's a little harder to play. That doesn't mean that you can't do it. It's just a nicer court.
Yeah, agreed. Also, court 1, the thing about court 1 is where it remains wet is on the 2 outer courts or the 2 courts that are next to the shed. It remains wet after it's rained for about 3 days, especially on the corner court that's by the parking lot. And then the other one also remains wet for at least 2 days. But it's wet only on the pickleball courts. It doesn't actually hit the tennis lines. So that will be a better tennis court than court 3, which has a huge amount of debris. And where we have access to a blower, the tennis players do not. And so they lose the ability to play on court 3 when that tree is shedding, which is like now. I mean, if you go out there, it is a mess. But we just blow off those courts, so it's fine for pickleball. Plus, on court 3, we only have, if it's going to rain and it stays wet, it will be only on 1 court, not 2, like it is on court 1. So it's better for pickleball to be on court 3 and better for tennis to be on court 1, because then nobody's losing a court, or not more than a little.
And that's the way it was for years. So tennis was on 1 and 2. I mean, that was the way it was originally.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's been that way for years because court 3 has been this conversion court. It had skateboard on it for a while. It had basketball
Oh, it
nets on
had,
it.
yeah, it did.
All
It had tetherball. It had a bunch of stuff.
it
And
had a
then,
lot of stuff, but so that's been a kind of a catch-all court. But the tennis, the courts 1 and 2 have been tennis available the whole time.
and so that would be what we would go back to, and then just take court 3.
Yes,
And I don't think we need to put 4 basketball nets up. We only need to put 2.
I think that's right, but that's up to the committee.
That's up to the committee. Yeah. I mean, it is, I've never seen more than 2, and they like the ends. But I think what we would do is put it only at the end that doesn't have the tree, and then put one on the side.
That
And
makes
that
sense.
way the basketballs only go those ways, not towards pickleball. And you wouldn't really need that big net any longer.
So would you put
No,
the,
actually,
Cindy,
I would leave
when you
the
say,
net.
I wouldn't.
wait, okay, can I back up to when you say you're
Sure.
gonna put the boards? When you say only on the side, are you saying the one that would be closest to the baseball field?
One on the baseball field side where the entrance is, or
And
next,
then one, obviously on
one
the
on the
fence
side.
where there's a fence. Yeah,
Right.
okay, because there's no fence in between 1
there's a
and 2.
tall
So
fence on part of it. So you could put one, there's 2 tall and a bunch of short.
It's
there's no
essentially
fences in between 1 and 2.
Oh, no.
No.
They would be
Yeah,
towards the
yeah.
shed.
Yeah, okay.
It's like moving everything from court 3 down to court 1, except you're only doing it in 2 spots, on one end and one side.
so you're saying
Yeah.
you'd
And
move the basketball,
There,
put one here and one
Yes.
here,
one there, or here, down here. There's also a tall fence.
which would be good because the water usually is in this area.
This is the water,
Plus
exactly.
basketball that I've never seen them play before, like lunchtime. By then it would be dried out.
That's
So
true.
this would
It's
be
better.
basketball, this would be the wet court, this would be tennis, and this would be pickleball.
Yeah.
Yes, and I have indicated that we would be glad to help with buying new posts for these basketball courts.
Of course we would, yes.
So that just to make sure that we know that this is not onerous for the town.
So we've done a lot of talking, Robert. I know this is kind of coming at you from left field. Do you have any initial thoughts about this?
I'll need to have a conversation internally to see if it's possible to support this. We already went out to bid with scope, including exact striping and coloration. There'll need to be some
But that-
internal
that doesn't-
conversation.
It's not changing.
Yeah, but that doesn't change. It
just
it
where.
changes by court. Yeah, it's the same amount of coloration and striping. It's just, yeah, it just shifts
The posts
between the
may,
courts.
the posts may not be done by Casabiano. I don't think that we haven't proposed that to them, and I'm not sure that we want them to do it.
We don't want any posts. We don't want any posts.
No. The posts for the new basketball,
Oh,
you have to have
okay.
a post put in at the end and the side in order to have a basketball net.
Correct.
And that post does not have to be Saviano at all. It can be an independent contractor that puts it in. It has nothing to do with the bid for the surfacing.
Well, but it's
Okay.
additional money. But so you'd move this basketball net and backboard this one, and you'd move it down here.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
There's a-
Robert,
Yep.
Karen's exactly right. I mean, nothing changes in the quote other than whatever we told them moves to a different court. So the striping that we said we wanted on court 1 would now be court 3. Striping that we said we wanted on court 3 would now be court 1. That's really what changes.
Yes, and the
Court two
posts,
remains
just so
same.
you know, right now, the posts are outside the fence. They are not in the court at all. The posts are outside the fence.
Oh, are they?
So
not?
they do not affect the surface of the court.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I think this is wonderful. I love that there's something on this. Again, I just need to make sure that we're able to support this with our
Oh, sure.
existing public request for bid, because it's not uncommon for cities to get in trouble if they don't give all companies adequate time to respond to any changes in the request for bid. I'll just need to talk to the town's council to see if we'll need to really quickly reissue. And that should still be in line with the original timeline. Saviano Company says that they won't be able to work on until May due to temperature. So even if we were need to make some minor changes and reissue, I do not foresee any changes.
I don't know that Saviano has to be the one to put in the post. We can have somebody, so we don't screw up your bid process and change that enough that it causes a problem. We could have somebody else
that's
do
what
it.
he's saying, Bob. I think he's just talking about the
Color.
court resurfacing.
Yeah.
The original request for proposal said that court 1 shall be designed a certain way with certain colors and striping. I just to make sure the language that says court 1 can be changed to court 3 without any issue, or if there is, no big deal. We can just reissue a request for proposal or a revised request for proposal to the public. That process takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe. No big deal.
We have time.
As far as the support for the hardware changes and the court appurtenances, the court equipment, such as the basketball poles and whatnot, that can be a separate discussion. Sounds great. Similar to the trees, those would be separate discussions.
Well, and that actually brings up my question, which is Cindy mentioned, okay, so we had conservation come out and look at the trees over by current court 1, as well as the big tree that drops stuff over on court 3. And I personally think this has to be looked at holistically, and we need to get those trees trimmed or, addressed so that the court resurfacing and the safety of the courts is improved. I do remember, to Cindy's comment on the tree over by court 3, I do remember that a conservation committee member said that was a bigger effort because it would require a cherry picker because the branches are so high. So I guess the question I have is, where are we on the whole tree trimming project and looking at that?
I had initial conversation with John McClenahan, who is the town arborist. He's located just off Arastradero. He's been around for quite a while. He has been, unfortunately, in for surgery fairly recently, but he said he'd be happy to come out and take a look at what him and his guys could potentially do on that process. So I need to have a follow-up conversation with him. I believe he's doing a lot better now, but he was recovering over the holiday season.
Do you need to issue an RFP, or do you just work with McClenahan? Because it seems like
typically this is a smaller this would be a smaller dollar value, and we would just work with McClenahan. It's not unusual for the town to trim trees and to maintain their trees.
Okay, because that I mean, in an ideal situation, that gets done before the court resurfacing.
Yeah.
And I just want to, I'm good with this idea, but I do want to reiterate that court 1, if it's wet, and even though it's not, if it's still wet behind the baseline for tennis, it is still a safety issue, and so we just need to make that court as safe as possible. Mm-hmm. So, it's just
if you look,
we need to just get that court as playable and as safe as possible, and by trimming the trees, that should really help to get more light in there.
Yes, but if you go back to the photos that I gave you in the last presentation, you will see that as the court dries, it's either dry back there and the rest of the court is dry, or it's wet back there because the rest of the court is wet. The worst place is in the corner, as Cindy said, and that does not affect somebody running in the court. I mean, it's way away from the court. It's inside. It's 21 feet from the fence to the baseline of the tennis court. Also, one thing I'd like to ask, are we coming to a decision that court 3 is going to be the pickleball court, the primary pickleball court?
Hold that thought. We're not there yet. We're still in discussion. So,
And what more discussion do we have to have, just so I know?
well, I have to ask the committee that. Plus, we don't have the whole committee here, so
You have a quorum.
we do have a quorum. I mean, the question is, do you need it tonight?
We're trying to get it decided, just so everybody knows what we're doing. So if we need to raise money, we need to know what we're doing, because we're not going to raise money if we're not going to change the court, but we are going to raise money if we are going to change the court. So there are issues that we have to deal with as well.
Well, we don't know if we have to raise the money or not. We don't have a quote for what it's going to take to move the hoops. We don't know.
No, I'm saying that we are talking about raising money to move the hoops. That's the money that we would be raising.
Yeah. Well, we don't have a quote, first. Number two, we don't know if we have to raise the money. You know, potentially,
The
depending
town
on
might
which it
pay.
is, would that be something that the town would be willing to pay for? Do they have the money? We have money in funds. Do we use those? Do we save those for Ford Field? You know, those are a lot of questions.
If we raise the money for the posts completely, is there an issue for the town? I mean, as long as we're paying for it, is there an issue?
Well, it's town property. I assume they would like to have a say in it.
I mean, they're going to engineer it. They're going to decide. But all we're talking about is us paying for it. But I want to make sure that we know that we have to raise the money, and we're willing to raise money.
So Bob, I just want to interject that we are not, if you will, the decision-making body. It has to go through council. Is that, Patty, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is we recommend,
We're
but there's
advising.
still a process. Is that right?
That's correct. We are an advisory committee, but because we're a town manager committee, my understanding is these decisions can be made by the town manager, not by the town council.
So the
Now,
town manager.
Bob, can I just speak?
Yes, please.
Thank you. We are an advisory committee to the town manager. We at least have to take our recommendations to the town manager. It is up to the town manager to determine if our recommendations need to go to the town council. I'm assuming Robert has input into that process as well. So we can vote to make a recommendation from this committee to the town manager. That's all we can do tonight. The process after that, I'm assuming, would be that we would need to get quotes for the work. And that decision would have to be made from the town as to who would pay for that. If the town doesn't have the money, then we would probably come back to the pickleball community to see if that would be something they would be willing to provide funds for, and then they would do the fundraising. But as I see it, that's the process. Does anybody disagree with that process? I mean, I know you might disagree with it. Do you see that that is the process as the way the committee is set up to do it?
Can I ask, can the committee make a recommendation that Court 3 be the primary pickleball court and make that decision as their recommendation to the town manager tonight?
Yes. But we can also say no, so we can vote on that.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, before we do that, I wasn't able to totally follow what was happening.
Yeah, we're not voting yet.
Yeah, I understand. But I just have a question because I want to make sure I understand the impact on the basketball players, because you're talking about moving things I wasn't quite able to follow. There's 4 nets right now, 2 10 feet, 2 8 feet, right? the 10 feet are on the ends and the 8 feet are on the sides. So are we going from 4 down to 2, first of all, nets?
We can,
Is that
because
what-
I've never seen 4 used.
Sure. In part because I think what the basketball players would be important to them is, first of all, is the 10, they need the 10 feet baskets, because the 8 feet are just for children, right? And
Right.
of a certain age, and it's not even clear what age. And on the 10 feet baskets, you have the 3-point line and the foul line. And while they're
Correct.
playing pickup and aren't doing foul shots, it still will be important to them for it to be oriented that way, right? To look like a half court basketball court. And so, right.
Okay.
So, yeah. So well, that's what I'm trying to understand. So would we be taking out one of the 10 feet? Are we going to end
We
up with just
could,
an
or we could
eight?
not. I mean, you can put it, that there's room for it. It's just that I've never, ever seen 2 used.
Uh,
I'm there a lot.
Yeah. Sure.
I've seen I've seen the 2 ends used at the same time.
You have?
And I think that we stand ready to raise money for 4 posts and 4
That would be
backboards,
fine.
which is exactly what you have right now. So we
can
stand
do
ready to
that.
do that.
Okay. So you wouldn't be changing actually the basketball nets. Is that right?
Wouldn't have
I mean, in
to,
terms
no.
of the orientation.
It could
No.
be
And the
all 4
lining.
of them, or it could be 3. I mean, it's whatever you guys decide it needs to
Sure.
be done, but we're ready to help with 4.
Got it. Okay.
We'd have to move the net too, right?
Correct.
The backboards and the whole backboard, the whole
No,
frame.
no. The net between court 3 and court 2.
You don't have to move that. You can, but you don't need to move that.
I mean, doesn't that prevent basketballs from going into what was the
Interestingly
original
enough,
intent of
almost-
that?
basketballs get shot in the other direction. They rarely come onto the court.
Basketballs
It
go
almost
all
never
over.
happens. I can tell you.
Almost never happens.
I mean, we hit many more pickleballs over there than they hit basketballs over to us.
I think that's right. I mean,
That's right.
it's rare that it would go off to the sides too far.
It doesn't, it just doesn't.
I
Yeah.
have a question. Speaking of this, there is a net between court 2 and 3 right now. What would happen to that?
That's what I was talking about.
I
can
would leave
stay
it,
or
and
not.
Cindy says take it out, and I say leave it.
Yeah, so it's it's an opinion. I think it's,
I say
again,
move it.
I say, I don't like it at all.
Well, it stops the pickleballs from going on to the tennis courts.
It stops the basketball going on to the tennis court.
But that almost never happens. I mean,
No, it
they
just
almost
doesn't happen.
don't lose a basketball that far.
It's really pretty rare. I can probably name 2 times that I've seen a basketball on a
Mhm.
pickleball court.
Well, that's because
A
the
lot of
net
times
is
I
there.
see pickleballs on a basketball court.
Because the net is there.
It doesn't, Patty, I've
No.
been on those courts time and time again, and I think I've seen 1 time that a basketball rolled up against that net, once. And I've been
I
there
think
for what,
maybe we should ask.
3 years,
that-
4 years?
I think maybe we should ask the basketball guys.
The basketballs easily roll under the net. It's not locked down. It's just not. They just come under, and they don't.
I think part of the reason you don't see them is because they're only playing half court. If you're playing full court, you're passing the ball all the way down the court, and it's just a wilder game.
Yes.
Half court basketball, it's much more controlled.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but we're gonna leave the tennis net there so they can't play full court.
They haven't been able to for years.
Yeah, they don't want to.
It's also the wrong size,
Yeah, it's too long. It's
much too long.
they don't want to run the whole court, and this is about an extra 10 yards or
I'm
whatever it
just
is, 20
saying.
feet longer.
Maybe next time you guys see basketball players, ask them if,
Okay. We
if we
could ask.
moved it, do they want the net?
Okay.
Okay, I can do that. Bob, do that too, right?
Yep. I'll be glad to do that. I mean, the only thing that I want to make sure that we do maintain is that the tennis net stays on court 3, because it stops the balls from rolling on to the next court. It's not not for tennis, but leaving
It's
it
the
on court.
backstop. No,
It's a
it
backstop.
shouldn't be.
I mean, because you're trying to put 4 courts on a single tennis court, And you don't want balls rolling from one end of one court into the end of the next court without that tennis net being there.
Yeah,
So the
no,
tennis net should stay.
I completely agree. I would not.
Basically, we don't want to remove anything or put anything in other than paint.
Yep, that's ideal.
It's just paint,
Well, and fixing the cracks.
fixing
Well,
the cracks and paint,
And the
but
basketball court.
Yep.
and moving the nets. Yeah, but we don't want to drill holes anywhere. We want to use our temporary nets that are really good. We want to, we just want it to leave it like it is. Just paint it and get it fixed and pretty.
Okay.
Move back.
Any other comments? I've kind of done it backwards now again. I'm sorry. I don't run good meetings.
Yes, you
Any
do.
other comments or discussion from the committee? Okay, let's move to the public. Any
Did we
public
vote on the recommendation?
Not yet.
Okay. Sorry,
Patience, Cindy, patience.
I got patience.
I know. I don't have it either. Any comments from the public?
I'll make a comment that we stand ready to pay for the movement of the basketball nets, whether it be 2, 3, or 4 frames and nets from court 3 to court 1 on fundraising to help or pay entirely for having that done so we can make court 3 the permanent or semi-permanent pickleball court.
Thank you for that comment. Any other comments from the public? David, anything?
I think it's a great discussion. I'm always depressed by how hard it is to get things done through the government, if you will, bureaucracy. And I don't blame Robert, but if RFPs like this were something I had to deal with when I was starting a company, it would suck. So other than that, I think you're doing great. Thanks.
Yeah, just try to buy Greenland. See how tough that is.
Oh, Patty.
Okay,
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. I'm going to bring one more thing up.
Aaron, go ahead.
My brain is a little slow.
It's
Well, with regard to the nets, in an ideal world, again, I think it would be great to have a net between each court, which means adding a
are.
net, not.
They are. There's
Well,
a net between each court.
Now you're adding expense.
No, there's not. There's not a net between 1 and 2 right now.
That's an expense.
I'm not talking about the tennis nets. I'm talking about the
Oh, yeah.
Ugly net.
the side nets. That way the pickleballs don't go into the tennis courts and the tennis balls don't go into, I mean, and I'm just saying that's an ideal situation. I have no idea what that would cost, but I'm going to throw that out there. We're
Well,
doing
there is
this
a net
stuff.
between 2 and 3 right now.
Yes, so it would be adding one more net like that between 1 and 2.
Are you talking about a net that is a metal fabric, or are we talking about a tennis net style?
I'm talking about a net that acts as a barrier to balls going into the other court. I don't know what fabric makes sense, but isn't that other one like a
Ugly. Yes.
It's not metal, it's like a cloth net that hangs down. Yeah. What's
okay.
it? It's
I mean,
like a
you'll
it's
know
like
you'll,
it's some sort of cloth. It's like a basketball netting. Or it's a corded fabric. I'm
It
getting
is a corded
yeah.
fabric with a plastic.
I don't really have a preference for that. I just, as we were talking about this and we're talking about moving the net, I'm like, yeah, it might be nice just to separate all the courts, with a net, and then
We just replicate what we've got between 2 and 3. Put it
I would
well,
do
yeah,
that.
although
that's
the
where
net between 2 and 3 needs repair, I believe, but
Well,
maybe not.
the ones
They
between
repaired it.
2 and 3 require a 10-inch post, metal post. I don't think you're talking about a 10-inch metal post. That goes up 8 feet.
I don't care how it's put up. I'm just saying if there were a net there, it'd be really nice. I'm not going to engineer it. Does that make sense? I know that the one that's there, you're saying has one post at each end and then a cable. So it would be stretching a cable across to put the net up. somehow. Right?
Yes. But there's
I
no,
don't, I'm not,
there's no high fence at that point.
I mean, this is kind of like Alpine, that we have courts two at a time, and the balls roll across.
well, pickleballs are very different than, there's a lot more pickleballs that roll across than tennis balls. That's what I was thinking. But anyway, I'm just throwing it out there because, and I said in an ideal world, you'd have a net between all of the different courts.
Yeah,
You'll,
Karen,
it's not a deal.
it's definitely doable. We had it between court 7 and 8 at Alpine. Basically, we took a metal aircraft cable and ran it all the way from one end to the other, and then we put drapes, if you will. They were, I don't know, like just like a net thing, like a basketball net or whatever, and you could fold them closed like you can with drapes, or you could open them up. And it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but we did it because there were often lessons on one side and not on the other. And I don't think it's all that expensive. It's like 1/8 inch aircraft cable, and you hang drapes across it. I think it's more a matter of, do people want that, or is it ugly, or
Have you ever noticed though that we don't do that on playing courts? We do that on the practice court or on the teaching court, and that's because a lot more balls get sprayed around. But when people play matches, those nets are never closed. When we play a team match against another league, we push that curtain back so there's no divider between the two.
yes, but we don't put pickleball on one side of it. So I'm just saying this is an option. I'm not saying
There is.
it's, yeah, right or wrong, but this would be a thing if we don't want pickleballs running on the tennis courts or vice versa. It is doable.
Okay, can we just table that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Would somebody like to are we ready to make a motion? Any more discussion? Okay, would somebody like to make a motion?
Bob, or do I have to make the motion?
I can't make a
No.
motion.
Bob is not a committee member.
Okay,
Cannot
so
make a
where was
motion.
that?
So let me try to make it because I want to make sure we understand what we're,
Okay, you do it.
right now, all we're voting on is to recommend that the dedicated pickleball courts, which would be 4 of them, would be placed on court 3 during the resurfacing, and then the joint tennis and basketball court would go to court 1. That's what we're voting on. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're voting.
Okay,
on-
It's in the sheet that I distributed in the last meeting.
I second
Hold
that.
on. Hold on. Okay,
Right there.
we're voting. Okay,
Well,
can't see.
the motion, can you scroll up? Because I don't, this
Make a-
language, it wouldn't,
No, just
so the
Yeah.
motion would be to make court 3 the dedicated pickleball courts and court 1 the joint tennis and basketball court.
And 2
Correct.
blended.
It's the
Pardon?
table it's the table you see in front of you.
He made a motion. It was correct.
But we're not changing court 2, correct?
Correct. It's just blended.
and
So the
then as part
changes
of it,
between 1 and 3.
and as a part of that motion, we need to relocate backboards.
Correct. Yes, we
Okay,
could
yeah.
add that in.
Okay.
And can I just ask, is the reason for this is because court 3, what was the all sports court, is drier or just better? Drier because of how the
There's a
sun.
lot of
Uh,
reasons.
The
Lot.
The other
Yeah.
thing is for
But that's-
matches, John,
Yeah.
for matches, they can have those, there's spectators outside the courts over where the picnic benches are, instead of the spectators coming
Sitting on
onto
onto
like
the
court
court.
1 and
I
watching it on the
understand.
court.
And the
So
bank.
it,
My
Correct.
concern is the level of input from the basketball players I'm concerned about not, I mean, are they going to say, well, so you put us on the wet court, right? You know, we're playing
It's not wet
basketball.
for them.
It's not.
No,
It's-
it's not
it's-
wet where the basketball on the 10-foot sides would be.
Well, it would be on the south end, not
Yeah,
on
but
the
only,
not on the baseball side, baseball field end,
It would
yeah, no,
be,
there'll be, if we put it in the right
which is where
places,
we
it'll be
play on
fine.
this court, it would not be wet. The portion is down here. So this
But you
court
can,
would be dry. So if they play half court, they'd be fine. If they needed both courts, this would be a wet court.
Well,
it's not wet. You can see that brown area. Can you see the brown area on the
right there.
side?
Yeah, right there.
That's the
That's
part
where
that
it's wet.
remains wet. It's outside of where the basketball and tennis is. That is
Mhm.
pickleball territory right in there.
Mhm.
And that's what stays wet, that corner. But
In
if they
fact,
put the basketball here in the center of the tennis court, they're not going to be affected.
That's correct.
Mhm.
Well, I do
Okay.
think as part of
you
your
know, I
straw poll, Cindy and Bob, would be kind of asking the basketball players what they
How do we
think.
do that? How do you contact basketball players?
No, I meant
Just when we
ask them.
see them?
Just ask them when you see them.
Okay, I'm happy to do that. I really am.
and I'm going to take back my comment about putting a net between 1 and 2 because now that I'm looking at this aerial, there's much more space between 2 and
Correct.
3
Yeah, you
than there
can't
is
fit it in
between
and
1
still
and
have,
2.
there's
Yeah.
there's not enough room for the outside. You have to have 5 feet at the outside of a pickleball court.
Okay, we're taking that out.
Yeah. I would remove all the nets.
Next the nets. Okay, John, do you understand the
I understand. I'll just say my concern is that we may get feedback from basketball that we have, kind of put the pickleball people on the nice court and put them, and push them over to the less attractive court. That's all. And so,
I
this
think
would
that
have to be
it's not.
shown to them, or that's what we just need to make sure that they understand
Agree.
and agree.
Well, I know
Right.
that this court, the third court, that whole area over by the tree is always full of debris, and that tree puts these little seeds out where you can't play basketball at this end at all at this time of year. You can only play at the other end.
Unless you clear it.
They don't have
Sure.
anything to clear it with.
I've only seen them in this court.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah. I
seen
don't
them
think I've
clear a
ever
court. We
seen
clear
them
courts all the
here.
time.
In the
So-
summer,
You have to be playing in this court, which is full sun, versus this court. I mean,
yeah.
I think we need to ask them. I absolutely agree.
Okay. As
I'm-
soon as we see one, I'll ask them. I'll get names and comments.
Okay. So we have a motion before the committee. I'm going to call for a vote.
Oh.
So all those in favor, you have to raise your hand.
Aye.
How do you do that?
John, I can't see your
Oh,
hand.
look, I'm back. Hey, are we allowed to do it where it's kind of somehow conditional upon communication with the basketball community? We don't even need their agreement. We just need to make sure that they have been
I think,
participated in the discussion.
yes, I think when I pass this along to Darcy, she's probably going to ask me what the basketball players say. So
You
I
should.
agree we need to get their feedback.
Mhm.
But given that, what is your vote, John?
Yeah, I'm for doing it.
All right. So we have 4-0 in favor.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so next steps, Cindy and Bob get basketball feedback.
Yep.
And I will write this up and pass it along to Darcy and Robert for their feedback and next
Right.
steps.
Awesome.
Perfect.
So, Bob, can
Robert,
you
did
make
you
sure?
have any other
did-
questions? I didn't mean to pass over you.
No, this needs to ultimately be presented to Corey and Darcy for their review. I haven't reviewed this yet. Nobody really sent this to me, so I'll have to take a look through it. But this should go to Corey and Darcy.
Yeah, I will do that. Great. Okay. Super. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, where are
And
we?
if any, just to make sure, if anybody has a question on what's being discussed and what's preferred, just go back to that sheet that's a town center priority court proposal. It's all there, that right there. That has all the information on it about how, and why.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
If you have trouble figuring out who to talk to that plays basketball, let me know, because I know a couple of the people that are regulars down there.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be a great help because we just happen on them. You know, it's not like they're there every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, understood. It still may be the best way because it is kind of a random group. There were some regulars for a while. Do you know Chris Sevi? His boys play. They're like
No, but there's a whole group of guys. There's a whole group of players that come from Zotz to play there in the afternoons.
Oh, that's right. The chef there brings his crew.
The Zotz.
Yeah, I see.
servers.
That's a different
Talk to
group.
them.
Yeah, they're there many times, like 3 times a week.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
those are the
Okay.
ones I see all the time, and periodically kids. But this is not the season for kids. The kids come in the summer.
Yeah. When I say Chris Sevi's kids, they're adult children. But
Oh,
yeah,
well,
I mean
yeah.
they're adults.
But
They're like almost 30 years old, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
we'll ask the guys that are there.
Well, yeah, we'll
Yes,
ask
right.
those are there, but it's just kind of not a good season for it. But we'll do what we can do.
Okay.
Okay.
I think this is a good direction. Okay.
Yes.
C. Karen.
Karen.
Let me take you off. Sorry, I'm trying to schedule PT and OT and do it. Okay. So I think I sent you all an email that there is an RFP out for landscape architects to get get sort of a design and more exact cost estimates on putting in on depending on the location, what the utility costs may be and things like that with a couple different designs. So if I recall correctly, the RFP is due on January 26th. I don't have an update on that at all. I think we have to wait till the 26th. And once we have a better idea of what those cost estimates might be, then we have a better idea of what we need to raise and can start to figure out how we do that and whether it's I mean, obviously there's going to be a fair amount through private donations along with 180,000 from the state grant. So I don't know, Patty, do you want to add anything? I had did everybody receive that email with the link to the RFP?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I think I sent it to the committee.
Yeah, you did.
And we'll just kind of see from there where we're at. But we did stress in the RFP that time is of the essence because we have to complete construction on this by January of 2028. So it's 2 years away. I don't know. Does anyone have any questions on that?
Did you say the 26th of this month?
For the for people to submit bids to the RFP.
But it's of this month, January.
Correct.
Okay, great.
And I don't know if we've had any bids or not.
Who would they go
what is
to?
that, next week? They would go to Darcy. Darcy sent out the proposal to the town manager.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you know of landscape architects that also are familiar with ballparks, that would be,
Or bathrooms.
you know,
Or bathrooms.
well, bathrooms, but also, yeah, that would be of benefit.
Yeah, we're just kind of in waiting mode right now. Although there is some work going on in the background about fundraising and donors and things like that. But yeah.
Yeah, and if you know of any donors, we do have, I don't know, but Susan Ford Dorsey has committed $100,000 in a matching program. And we have Little League that has at least $60,000. We have another donor who's 10,000, maybe more, and another one who's 10 to 20,000. But if you can think of larger lead donors, that would be great, because it'd be great to kick it off with that, and then we'll do a large fundraising campaign with the community. Maybe it's Keno night. Who knows?
It'd be a good cause. And it's all Parks and Rec, right?
Yep.
Yeah, let's think about that.
Thank you, Karen.
Hey, Karen, have you pressed Randy Gabrielson to kind of really figure out who the big Little League donors are that he would be able to kind of get to donate big money?
I have spoken with him. I haven't spoken with him recently, so I'll go back to him.
Yeah.
I have a couple names that I was hoping he could help with, but I did ask, and I'm not sure about the connection, because actually one of them has passed away. So I'm looking at how to, looking at the legacy of that.
Right.
There are a number of potentials. We just have to figure out the best way to connect with them.
Okay, yeah. I just feel like there's people closely associated with baseball. I mean, he was a very long-term baseball coach, and is in a position to be able to donate a lot. And there's a handful, I'll say at least, of people like that I think he would be have a very close relationship with through the 10 to 20 years or more of coaching together.
Yeah,
and so
I will
yeah.
check in.
Yeah,
I'll check in with him again. My son Cameron was on his teams, so
right.
I've been in touch with all those teammates and stuff. So, or the parents of those teammates, shall we say? But
Okay.
any ideas that you have, please send them my way. Or if you say, oh, you should
Sure.
talk to so and so, I'm happy to reach out and do that. I have no trouble calling people or
no, I
emailing.
think that's great, because I think we've discussed, you can the bigger events where people will give $50, $100, and really what you're trying to get is find the people who will give $5,000, $10,000, maybe more. But
Yeah.
if you're talking about even $100, and then somebody gives 5,000, even so, that's 50 people's worth, right? And so it just I think there are a handful of people that donate significant amount every year to things like this that are linked to Portola Valley baseball.
John,
Yeah,
how
and I
about
looked I
softball?
looked at the
Sure. They're
I
there
looked at
too.
the
Mhm. Go ahead. Yep.
I did look at the previous fundraising list that you sent, John,
Right.
and
Yep.
that was right at the time when Guy Lucian had passed away. So there were a lot
Yeah,
of
exactly.
donations made in his memory as well. So
Right.
Right.
so we'll
I think the big thing though is to look at the $5,000 and up donors and try to see if we can get them to do that again.
Yeah, and all the new people that have come into baseball since that time.
Right.
In the Little
Right.
League. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good.
Okay.
Aaron has done an awesome job of pulling that together. So
Yes.
Yep.
thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you for all your efforts. Okay. I'm looking.
Okay.
Status of Rosati's and Little League field parking. The only update I have is that in a meeting that Karen and I had with was it late December, early January? We had a sidebar conversation about the fact that the town has received the appraisal for the Rosati's parking lot.
Really?
So
She-
so there was a closed session actually before the town council meeting last Wednesday, and it was regarding the Rosati's parking. It says closed meeting, but it tells you what the subject is. So there was a meeting last Wednesday, and they had nothing to report out of the meeting.
Oh, they never do. But doesn't mean nothing.
Nothing to report?
That's what they always
They haven't. They obviously haven't finalized anything, but they definitely have started negotiations. If you go back to the calendar, it says, well, I'll read it to you. So maybe I won't. The title of it was a closed session, special meeting, and it was called Conference with Real Property Negotiators, parking lot located at 3919 Alpine Road, Portola Valley. And the negotiation parties were Darcy Smith, town manager, and Greg St. Clair of Avener Restaurant Group. That's all public. That's what they released. And the negotiation is price and terms of payment regarding lease for parking lot.
that's a little concerning to me, only because I don't believe we've formally talked about how we'd like to structure any agreement to ensure that there is adequate parking for soccer. And I know there's been some things tossed around in the past, but I mean, if they're negotiating pricing, I think we should also be negotiating, availability. So I guess I'm concerned about that.
Well, Patty, I think it would be a good idea to get in touch with Darcy and share those concerns.
I will do that.
Yeah, I was concerned about that too, but I sort of assumed you were involved. But naive me, because I was thinking, oh, well, I wonder what they're going to do for cost and how they're going to reserve spaces for soccer. And I naively thought that that was all part of the plan. But if you're not in the plan, that's not really a good thing. So I agree that's not workable. So I'm a little disappointed that this hasn't been discussed more publicly at the town council level if they're negotiating that. So whatever I can do to help keep an eye on it, I'm happy to.
Yeah.
Well,
And also the whole
I'm not sure I
Ford
want to
Field
open it.
situation.
Not sure I don't want to open it up to the public yet, but certainly feel like Parks and Rec should be have an input into the process. But I will reach out.
Well, and I wonder where we are with the whole Ford Field issue as well. If they just looked at that singularly or they're looking at both lots. So those are questions I think to ping Darcy about.
I do not know, but I will see what I can find out. Okay, that's the last thing on our agenda. Does anybody else have anything that they wanted to discuss?
No.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good meeting.
Happy New
Bye.
Year.